Okay, I want to show y'all a little project I'm trying. I'm still in the process of making it. This is a 5-sided. I want to make a huge tankard. I can't call it a stein. Stein, the word when you translate it means stone. So I want to put a big ass handle right there and maybe put my Family Crest, burn it in with wood or wood burner. Some things I was wanting to show you. 360 degrees is the, there's degrees in one circle. Divided by 5 sides equals 72 degrees. 72 degrees, you divide that for two angles per each side, comes up to 36 degrees. I hope y'all can see that. Now that formula right there, all you got to do is change that number right there. Right there, if you're going to do 6 sides, 7, 8, 9, 10, will give you the proper formula to get the right angle to drill, or not to drill, to cut this at. Now I put, this is a 10 inch length, and I cut the boards 3 3/4. And on the 36 degree, I cut it, and then I mocked all this up, and these angles were a little bit too tight, so I added 2 degrees to my cut, and I remade it, and it was actually too far. I should have took just 1 extra degree. So actually 37 degrees would have been proper. Now, I've been in the process. It's taken me a while to mock this up and put it together. 5-sided stuff is a booger to put together. Now I did this. You can see how I did this to put things together, and I would jam it. Sometimes I take a screwdriver and I jam up there to make it right. And I took my drill. Let's see, that's a very small drill bit, and I have these finishing nails. They have nice little grooves in them, and so that is right at the size or just a little bit below of what these are. So I drilled a hole and tapped it in with my ball peen, and you can see 3 per side, and I'd line it up that way, and I work my glue in like that. On the outside it looks pretty daggum good. I mean, once I sand this down, it'll look really good. The inside, you can see that crack down through there. I'm going to have to lay this down flat like that. And what I'll do is I'll take my wood glue and I'll fill in 2 gaps in at a time, let it dry overnight, come back and turn it, fill in 2 cracks, let it dry, and then come back and then do the final one. So that's my next project to do on this one. The handle, I'm going to do one of them nice big style handles, but I need to get me a wood burner in and get my Family Crest, and I want to put it on there and stuff like that. It'll be, I doubt I drink out of it. I just probably just use it for giggles. But this is cedar, and all sorts of different, wood configurations out of that. And you could see some of my gaps are a little big. Like I said, 2 degrees I added to it was too much, so I should have did 1. But I didn't know. This is my first time trying this, and but what I got to do is get some glue into them corners and let it dry. And I'll keep working on it and keep you guys updated on it. So that'll be enough for this video right now. So the next one will be, I'll show you how to do the handle. I plan on doing a solid bottom. I need to sand this flat, and I'd like to get like a chunk of walnut, maybe 3/4 inch thick. That way the color will offset, and maybe do it with a bezel where it sticks out a little bit. I may be overthinking it, but it'd look daggum good when I get done with it. But the formula I showed you guys right here, this number right here, see, I had 5 sides. 360 by whatever sides you got will equal the first number. The first degree, that degree has to be split in 2 because there's going to be 2 sides to that. If you was to add these 2 sides up, it would equal that. So that was a big help for me to getting this out, and also ways to put this stuff together. So tonight is all about glue, putting it together, getting it nice and sturdy. I mean, that's going to be a sturdy thing. Anyhow, let me get busy on this, and I'll get other videos as they come. Okay, let me get a light. You can see down through there how I got that glue stuck in there. That one's kind of soaking in good. See how it's going into the crack. Now I'll let this dry for a day, and I'll flip it 2 times, do the 2 cracks, and then I flip it 1 more and do the 1 crack. But come on, work light. But that's looking pretty good. And that's what she's going to look like. Okay, a little update. I was going to try to borrow a disc sander so I could square these ends up. Guess what? I couldn't find one. So I had to use the old mouse sander. Now, one really good thing about the mouse sander is if you have a little brush, you could just, the cedar won't clog this up as long as it's dry. And so the sandpaper will last a long time. That's a good thing. But damn, it was a lot of sanding to get this flat and level. Okay, I took a 1/2 inch piece, and all I did was trace it out, and I put it on there. Now you're looking at it and you're saying, wow, look at them bad marks. Well, that's okay, because I have this trim right here that has got, see how the edge sticks out, and see how it has this pattern. I looked around, I wanted one that had a circle pattern, and that was about the closest I could find. And what gets me is this, I don't even think that's a 10-foot pole. And that damn thing was over $11. Trim has gone through the daggum roof. But anyhow, I got to looking at it, because the way that end sticks out, it will give me that beveled look on the bottom of this that I've been wanting. Now, I wanted to get that bottom on to add some strength to this, because I want to start sanding this outside edge, outside. I'm going to knock these edges down and get this nice and pretty looking. As you can see, I've kind of sanded over that edge. And I made this little piece. I cut it out from 1 inch. And see how it just locks in place? I haven't figured out, well, that might be the best place. I need to sand these edges down. I think I've sanded that. Yeah, I've sanded tops and bottoms. I even sanded that some. I had to take a rasp and kind of take some off here, rasp, and take this area off and kind of work with it to fit it in. I am going to put epoxy, you know, coat that inside really good. That way it's leak proof. Normally I don't use nails, I normally use screws, but for some odd reason I did use nails this time. To me, screws are so much better because you have holding ability. That's going to add another 1/2 inch to the height. This is some sort of a fence end. I was trying to kind of put a notch in the top, drilled 4 holes through it, and kind of notched it right there. And I'm thinking that on top of that. So I'm kind of just thinking, you know, I'm working. If you watch any of my videos, you know that I'm a work in progress. So, and I haven't even looked for stuff as far as what I'm going to do on a handle. I know I want a big honking handle on one side, but I've been studying up on transfers because I want to put crests, family crests. There's a lot in my family, and I have room here and here, so that gives me 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. In all reality, wherever I have my handle at, I'll put one in the middle right there. So basically I got room for 6 of them transfers on there. So let me get a flashlight. That's the way I want it, is that glue kind of getting into them corners like that. Always keep your flashlight around. Now it kind of, I worked a lot on this end, and I know it may not look perfect, but like I said, that trim, well, cradola. Well, I can't. That trim is going to cover that because that's an inch tall. That's an inch tall, and that's a 1/2 inch, so it'll cover a good section of that. And so I'll probably stain this dark to offset it. Also, while I was out looking at trim, I found this trim that looks like it looks like a rope, and I thought, man, that might be good underneath the top or somewhere on this. So the problem is that piece of trim was like an 8-foot section for over $12. Like crap. They were really sticking it to people on these prices. But you can see the mess I've made today. Won't show you my shirt. It looks even worse. But anyhow, I may try a dye on this. I bought some dye here a while back. Camera crapped out. I think I'm going to try. Man, I don't know if I should pull that out or not. See, that will stick through quite a bit. I think I'll go ahead and just pull that off. I'm going to try, I know I got some dye inside the house. I think I'll go get it and mix it with some alcohol and try dyeing this. That'll be a neat experiment. anyhow, that's where I'm at on this right now. So off to the next video. Damn camera. Anyhow, the Rika oil, I mixed it with isopropyl alcohol because that's all I got. I don't have the other kind that woodworkers use. And now this is 2 or 3 coats, so you can see that one needs another shot. I'm gonna hit it a few more times and get it to a bright red. Now dyes go deep into the wood, but they still show the wood grain, and that's what I'm after. I will not do that to that. I'm going to put just a clear on that, but after I let this dry, I'll put a clear on it. But like I said, this is what I'm working with, just a little acid brush, and you can see the little drop off right there. I would say I probably put 10 drops in there, but there's no way to, measure it. So I just gloop gloop did like that. And the alcohol is supposed to embed in the wood. There's not any, I ain't kidding, folks. I got on Google. Google ain't worth a crap for looking up information anymore. Well, all internet stuff is all about selling you crap and not about giving you information. Okay, let me show you where I'm at. I took that fancy trim and 36-degree cut at each end, and I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. This one I cut a little short, and I put a little sliver in there. I put glue, and then I drilled a pilot hole and put them in there. Let me get that glue off. These smoothed up real well. Look pretty good. The lid, I used a different kind of mold. Now this molding is supposed to be laid at a 45-degree angle, and so I went in straight like that, and it gives it a real neat I can't remember which way it goes now, and it gives it, to me, a kind of a regal look. Now I got a neat surprise for what's going up here. We was going to do this, but I found something better. And I'll show you that here in a little while. Now I'm going to paint the trim gold. And then well, that fits on pretty good. I like how that works. Now where did that come from? Anyhow, you can see how I kind of cleaned the back side up so it would fit down like that better. There's some areas it fits on good and other areas it doesn't. Well, like that. But anyhow, that's drying. I did that yesterday. And the trim yesterday. Now this is the handle. I'm drilled some dowel rods into it. And I know they look extra long. Now this one I went all the way through, and it blew some of this out. So I pushed it back in, took the glue, glued it all back in, and then I thought, I'll tape it up. And I said, wait a minute, that tape will never come off. So I put parchment paper down, and then I wrapped it up tight to squeeze it all in. Now this is going to fit up tight against this, and it'll have that kind of look. But it'll fit right in the middle like that. But right now, I took this on the flapper sander like that, and cleaned it all up, and it looks pretty good. You can still tell it's cedar. It's actually a little bit more rotted than I wanted, but I figure once I stabilize it with the oh crud, clear, it'll be good. Set that up so it's upright. As you can see from my mess, I have been working on it. The sanding has worked real good. Now I've been doing experiments on how to transfer the crests to cedar. And as far as I could find, as far as ink transfer, you know, people saying use wax paper or use parchment paper and then transfer it over. No, none of that works. I've tried many experiments and nothing has worked. The only thing I'm going to do is print them out on a piece of paper, put some Mod Podge down, stick it to it, you know, flatten down real good, let it dry, and then coat it with another bit of Mod Podge, and then I'm going to do the epoxy over everything. Or I may do Val is that no, I ain't it. Sorry, wrong one. The Minwax spar urethane. I like that stuff, and so I may do that instead. So that's where we're at on this video. And like I said, the thing that's going to stand up and be on top, I got a surprise for you guys. You're going to like it. Anyhow, let's let this dry and go on to another project. Okay guys, this is the surprise I was telling you about. I found a guy on eBay, or somebody on eBay, who makes these. These are 3D printed, and this is going to go on top of my Tankard that I'm building. And it's got a beautiful copper color to it. It's got the coils, the mash tun, the cooler coils. I know that's called different, something different, but and it's got these kind of bricks around it. But that was the big surprise I was waiting for. Okay, I got some tape up there because I've been painting these side pieces, and I was afraid it wasn't going to fit, and boy, it fits in there good. I'll probably put it somewhere in the middle like that. But after I pull that tape up, I'm going to clear coat both top and bottom. This is going to be the lid. There's the bottom. You can see the cutout that I did. But that's going to look just good in there. So that's what she's going to look like. I bring this in. I was wanting to show you guys what I've been doing to it. I think I showed you guys about how I put the handle on, how I smoothed it all down with a flapper wheel. I put my crest that I made here on the inside, and it bled out because I was taking my finger and rubbing the Mod Podge on it, and that was my mistake for doing that. This one I'm going to use a brush to coat it with. Now the reason I want to coat with Mod Podge first is that I will clear coat this whole thing with the Val varnish. And so I've got a few more right there that I will be putting on the other sides to fill all this up. But to give you a little update of what I was doing, I've got it braced so that way I have one side that's pointing up while I'm working on it. I'll give this a day to dry and then I'll coat it and then let it dry some more. So I got a kind of a long process going on because I got 1, 2, 3 more to go there. Anyhow, that'll be it for this. Okay, this is the top. I've been putting a bunch of three or four coats of the clear coat. I'm using the clear satin spar urethane on that. And these are the pieces. This is a trim that you're supposed to turn at a 45, but I turned it at a 90. And that kind of gives it a neat look. Now I did that spot too, and you can see where the glue stuck to the bottom there. This is what goes into the top of the tankard. And I just wanted a quick coat of the real thin stuff on that. And this is on top. Now I got the, this is the little steel. I got it in a bag so it'll stay clean and nice. And I was thinking of ways maybe to mount it. I think I'll just leave it loose, so I don't have to use anything to attach it. And let me show you something I made. I made this little tiny castle. That's originally what I was going to do. And I shot it with primer. I drilled some holes, you know, to kind of imitate windows. And these are dowel rods put on just a square block. And I took a little 45 out of the piece of the dowel rod. And this is, I just marked it up. And I was thinking maybe of that. That was something I just whipped up. One of them is kind of kilted, this one, but whatever. I originally thought of this popular piece, popular wood. It's kind of like a furniture piece or something. And I never did take that bottom piece out. But that's the top. Let me show you what I've been doing to it. The bottom, three coats of clear on that. The clear brings out the grain. That's kind of what I was going for. And on this side, I was, you can see I taped up the front, and I was coating the handle. The handle was real porous, and so I put the thin on it first to really soak it in and kind of lock in the grain. And I put a couple of coats of the spar varnish, spar clear, on it. And you can see I got tape on the front right here to keep this from dripping on that. So I'm going to be pulling that off today. I had pretty good luck with putting the crests on with Mod Podge, and only the one behind this one is a crest I made for my YouTube site, and it's, when you put too much on and you work with that too much, the colors will start bleeding out. And you can see these colors are sharp and the letters are sharp, and it stayed pretty good, so I didn't spend much time. I just cover it quickly and go to the next one. But I plan on putting this coat over all the outside, so I got to break it free from its reins right there, and I'll get this, start working on other parts of it. That's all for now. Okay, this will be the final video, and this is of the tankard that I made. I used a limb as a handle. I got a gentleman off of eBay who made me a 3D printed Moonshine steel. Lid comes off. It's 5-sided. It's absolutely huge. If you take 360 degrees, divide it by 5, that is 72. If you divide that by 2, like 2 angles per side, that comes up to 36 degrees. I ended up cutting them at 37 to make these edges be sharper. The crests are of my family: White, Minden, Smith, that's my last name, and Campbell. Campbell and White was of my great-grandparents, and Minden is a grandparent, or my mom's
maiden name, and that's my dad's last name. The crest on the back was one that I had made up as my YouTube site crest. My problem is when I was putting the Mod Podge on, I wasn't using a brush, and I was using my finger, and I ended up spreading the colors out. So that's why that one's back there. But I used Mod Podge to put these down with. I could not come up with any way to transfer this onto Cedar and work. I used some nice trim on bottom. I used the same dimensions as far as, cutting that. And on top, it's a type of a crown molding that's supposed to fit at a 45, but I turned it at a 90 and cut it at that to give it a real unique look. And it was my first time trying this, and I really, it taught me a lot. The bottom piece was cut with the same dimensions as these, and this was put on top of that. I don't know if you can see in there or not. Got a little bit of varnish in there. I'd rather epoxy coat it if I could. Right now that stuff just is way too expensive for now. Oh, and the bottom side, you can see I did a piece up of cedar on that, and I cut it out like that so it would fit down flush. And sometimes you got to turn it to get it to fit right. That I'm not going to bolt down or glue down. I think it'd be better that way. But I made this in this video. It shows you how to do it. If I can do it, you could do it. This is a pretty neat project. The Mod Podge on that stuff kind of gives it an antique look. There's really not a crest of the Menden family out. They were a take of the Minton family, and it was only one letter that I had to change to make this right. And throughout history, a lot of families changed their names for whatever purpose. But I ended up making one. So, hope you guys like this. I hope you guys go out and try this. But this is a decoration piece. Anyhow, I hope you guys like this. And we'll catch you guys on my next video.